My name is Dr. Smangele Ntuli. I am the Head Facilitation of Learning at Gauteng region. I am accompanied by Dr. Shikolokolo, who will be your facilitator for the rest of the year. Dr. Shikolokolo is going to facilitate learning on the development studies modules. This is what he will be facilitating throughout the semester. If there are any follow-ups, he will indicate. Remember, with this academic literacy facilitation, Dr. Shikolokolo will assist you. And if you want one-on-ones, you will have to drop an email to Mrs. Mashiane. I will leave her the details here, down here, and my other colleagues, and then you will be able to continue. You will be able to what we call with them, communicate with them, so that they can make an appointment for you with Dr. Shikolokolo. It is important for you to attend these workshops because they help you on how to deal with your assignment in a correct way, how to prepare for your examinations, as well as how to study throughout your journey of learning as an open distance and learning student. So with that said, I want to welcome you into these workshops today moving forward, and I urge you not to be absent. Attend, attend, attend. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Shikolokolo.
The first topic there that we have met to discuss this evening is to look at what is academic writing. When we talk about academic writing, what is it in your own understanding? We are not looking to a very correct responses here. Just your own understanding, what you have in mind. When we talk about academic writing, what are we referring to? In your mind, what do you think it's all about? What is it that we are looking at? Because it embarrasses a lot of things on it, but then we need to make sure that we bring our understanding in terms of putting together these ideas, so that I will be able to see how far do you understand this thing. Then we'll be able to take it that way. So what I'll do, I'll expect you to raise your hand when you have got something to say, and randomly I'll also just pick up one of you to respond. So don't be afraid when I do that. It's one of my strategies to make it a point that we all participate and take charge of whatever we're doing. That's it. What is in your mind? What is it that we call academic writing? What do you think is academic writing?
Okay, I think academic writing is when you writing essay for universities, like the formal style of writing essays for school things.
The formal way of writing an assignment at the level of the university.
Yes.
Okay. What is academic writing? You know, among ourselves, we write we some charts on WhatsApp. Nowadays, during our time, we used to write letters to each other, small letters, even in class. You know, we exchange letters to communicate. And sometimes when your parents are far away from you, you are left at home. The only means of communication was writing letters. And those were just informal kind of writing. So when we talk about academic writing, as Lebo was indicating, what do you think, Rantau? What is your understanding?
I can add on what Lebu was saying, and then with my understanding is that yes, it's an academic, sorry, it's it's a formal style of writing, especially I'm in the research division. So our researchers, when they're doing the proposals, they need to do the proposal in a formal style so that it can be accepted. Be it maybe they apply for the funding, but they've got a certain format that they need to use when they're writing those proposals. Yeah, so that's my take, my understanding as well, adding to what Lebo was saying.
Thank you for that input as well. It's very helpful.
My understanding of academic writing, as they've already explained, that it is a formal style of writing that is mostly used in higher institutions such as university, and it can also be applied into the publications. The people who are writing books, they use the formal style to write their books or doing their research.
And when you are doing research, you must have the particular approach and particular format that you're using. So we can approach this topic from different angles. It's like an elephant, you can describe it, can define it from the angle where you are. And that's why I said earlier on, there is no right or wrong answer in what you're going to bring. I just need to gauge your understanding of what do we mean by academic writing. What is it? Is it something that is new to us, or we know it, although we might not have gone through it in terms of application, and so on and so on. I just want to further also make a contribution here to assist. I see on the chart there are some people who are also contributing. Lele is saying academic writing, when one delivers more on the academic standard procedure, when one has to always acknowledge the original right that came up with the views that you're using on your essay, and now at the end saying I hope I'm right, and I'm so interested in this. I'm so interested. If Mlekelele can please come to a discussion, just unmute yourself. You are raising something very critical and very important here. Can you expand it a little bit?
Each and every point of view that you state in your essay, there's always that one person who came up with that point of view that you need to acknowledge in your essay. I hope I'm making sense.
You are. Just continue. You are.
Yeah. So when writing an essay, you always have to reference that person so that those who are reading your essay will know whose point of views you are using. I hope I'm right.
You are.
Yeah. So that's how I see what academic writing is. Yeah.
That's very critical, because that's why I said you must come on board, because you are bringing in the other element which I was still going to introduce to you, the issue of secondary information or secondary information that you get from another person. How do you put it in your own writing? Do you put it as your own, or do you put it, you indicate where it is coming from? In other words, the issue was, where are you going to get the information, the facts that you're going to use, the material that you're going to use? to come up with that writing, academic writing. Let's say you are talking about the essay or the assignment. When you compile that assignment, where are you getting that information? So I saw you bringing it in there. That's why I brought you to come and talk to us about that. It's very important.
Okay.
You can continue.
So to make a typical example, the issue of liberalism.
Mm.
In that essay, you always have to acknowledge the one who came up with liberalism, which is Karl Marx.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's what I think academic writing is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I wanted that angle that I saw you bringing it up so that we bring it to our discussion to understand more about this academic writing, what it's all about and all these things. Anyone with an input?
I think academic writing is a formal way of writing information, be it a essay, be it an article that is used by scholars and researchers. So there is a set standard of procedure that they follow in terms of writing. So there are guidelines on how to write in terms of referencing and stuff. That's the way that I understand. That I understand it.
Thank you so much for that input, Annalisa. It is adding value to our discussion as well. There are so many definitions that we can come across from various scholars, from various people, academics, and so on and so on. This one, it says academic writing or scholarly writing refers to primarily to non-fiction writing that is produced as part of academic work in accordance with the standards of particular academic subject or discipline. And this, when you look at this, it's exactly what you guys were saying. But especially when you are indicating that it has got a particular format, it's got a particular standard that it has to be aligned to. You are not just writing for the sake of writing. It must meet a particular standard. So that whoever is going to read your work will be able to see that this writing is far different from just an informal writing. Now you are writing with a purpose of producing something that is of good standard, and it will meet a particular standard. And this includes reports on empirical field work or research in facilities for the natural sciences or social sciences. And most of you mentioned this issue of a research, that it can be you are doing a particular research, you want to produce a particular finding in a particular topic. Remember, when you do a particular research, you have to have a particular topic in mind that guides you on what you are researching on and what you want to achieve at the end of your research. Monographs in which scholars analyze culture, propose new theories, or develop interpretations from archives. When you look at this, I'm coming to you as an analyst. It gives you an idea that whatever you are writing is something that you try by all means that it will bring about something which was not there before. In other words, you're putting together your facts to produce something which was not there before. Same topic can be given to 30 people in a class to write a particular essay, a particular assignment. But whatever you're going to produce from that topic is going to be different in terms of facts and information that you have come across. When you look at that definition that I'm presenting to you, it's not something that this definition is a perfect one than all others, but this is just a guideline to show you what do we mean by academic writing. What is it all about? What is it focusing on? What are the elements that this academic writing is concentrating on, and so on and so on. So you will see that you can still continue to have more of these things coming on board. When we talk about academic writing, essays and so on, or your assignments and so on. What is it contained there in that particular essay, in that particular assignment? Then I'm saying your assignment or your essay, we expect you to bring some sort of understanding. What kind of when you write an essay, an academic essay, an academic assignment, and so on, things that must come out there for the reader. What do you expect the reader to get from that reading after you have compiled that essay, that assignment? What do you want me as a reader to get out of that reading? When you're compiling it, your objective, your aim, what's your aim? What is the message that you want to put across? What do you want me as the reader to get from that? That's the next step that I want us to look at. After we've tried to bring out the understanding of academic writing. So now essays are a way of demonstrating understanding. What understanding are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? What understanding are we talking about here? When we say essays must bring out the understanding, what is that understanding we're talking about?
I think, well, the reader should have some clear understanding of the topic that's being discussed. The arguments, the insights, and all the research that has been put in the essay, it should be clear to the reader. The subject matter, yeah.
Anyone with the understanding of the assignment or the essay, what do you want to understand there? What is it that you expect your reader to understand?
I think when you write an essay, you've got your introduction, and then your introduction, it will simplify or give the reader more info about what the content will entail. And then in the content, that is the body of your essay, it's whereby you need to put more detailed information for the reader so that so your content must talk to your introduction, because in your introduction you will introduce that in my essay I will be talking about this and this and that. I think then when the reader read your introduction, he is more concerned, more willing or need to know more about the content of that particular essay. And then in your essay, in your content, that's whereby you just dwell on it, and then you have the conclusion at the end. Yeah, that's my take.
Thank you.
According to my understanding, one is to look at whether you've stuck on one topic, or whether you stuck on one topic in one paragraph, or whether you've used more than one topic in one paragraph. Usually in an essay, for an essay to look good, you have to stick on one topic from your introduction to your body and your conclusion. Not to beat around the bushes. Stick to one topic and get to the point.
Yes. Yeah. The question is, when we talk about understanding, demonstrating understanding on your essay, what is it that we're talking about? When you as a writer, you have to demonstrate understanding when you're writing your essay.
Got it. Okay, my response to that would be, well, it would be how you demonstrate that you comprehend whatever it is that is written. And that's why they emphasize that you need to write it in your own words, because this is when whatever it is that you've learned, you don't just regurgitate it, but you break it down and you explain it in your own words, and even putting in examples that are applied to your own personal life even sometimes. So it is to demonstrate that you comprehend and that you have chewed on whatever it is that you have studied. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
It does make sense, a lot of it. How do you demonstrate understanding when you're writing your essay? It's critical for us to understand this thing, because that's where sometimes we lose a lot of marks when we're writing our assignments and submit. And you ask yourself, why did I get this low mark? I've written a lot of pages, more than expected. And the issue was not the issue of writing a lot of pages. The issue was, did you capture and demonstrate understanding of the topic that was given? Because that is critical. As Nakulek was saying, sometimes you write and you are very far from responding what the topic was asking. So you need to demonstrate your understanding of that topic when you are writing, from start up to the end. You must be able to bring that out. The reader must be able to follow your logic of discussion in terms of understanding, and the facts should talk to each other that way. That is the demonstration that we're talking about. So I'm glad that you have got that understanding. So always we need to have that in mind. Then you express your ideas in your own words. That's what Nokulek was saying. Oh my goodness. When we talk about you express the facts in your own words, what do you understand that? How do you understand that? What do you mean by that? What happens there? Just building up on what Nokulek said, she has already given us an introductory to that. When you are writing your essay, you're writing your your assignment, and then we're saying you must express the facts in your own words. What do we mean by that? What are you understanding? What has to be done? What is expected of you? Ellen, what's your understanding where you have to express yourself in response to writing that assignment in your own words?
Okay, I think, yeah.
I'm coming to you, Mlekelele, I'm coming to you. Ellen first.
Should I talk?
Yes, please.
Okay. It means that when you don't regurgitate, for instance, let's say the question as it is, even when there's sources that have to be cited, you put them in your own words to avoid plagiarism as well. And you communicate with your voice to show your understanding. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
From what I see on this is that you should always write on a third person speaker. So instead of saying, I think that, you could easily say, by looking at what so and so stated on page number this, it could be said that, then blah blah blah, instead of you saying, I think according to my point of view, this is how it's supposed to be. So you always write on a third person speaker.
Mm.
I don't know if I make
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, always not sure with yourself. You are making sense. You're making sense. Anyone else? Any contribution? Express yourself, express in your own words. What is that? You know, there are, yes, Nkululeko.
Apologies. I wanted to say, I think that's where I said that you add examples in your own personal life. This is where you relate some examples where you pull from your own life to say, for instance, maybe with the political situation that's happening, you pull from that. And that's how you also demonstrate that you understand and can comprehend what it is that you read.
That's a build up on your points earlier. Like what Ellen was saying, in most instances, you find people just cut and paste, copy and paste. And at the end of the day, that person says, I've done my best, I've compiled my assignment, I've compiled my essay, then I can submit. In the case of a research that you are writing, you just copy and paste, cut and paste, and then you submit to whoever needs to assess. And as I said earlier, you are surprised now when the feedback is coming back and it's so negative. And you ask yourself, how did it come negative? Because I've just went all out. I went to the library, I went to the net, I tried all my best to read, and then I put everything together. The issue is it was just copy and paste or cut and paste. And we don't hear your voice there. Like somebody amongst you indicated the issues of your own voice. We don't hear your voice there. And in some instances, when people are using other people's information or material or work, they sound like it's their own. Whenever you use somebody's information, somebody's material, somebody's you quote somebody or some work from another person, you take it and use it. You have to cite it. You must recognize and acknowledge where you get that information. Otherwise, there's a risk of you being charged of plagiarism, as one of you indicated earlier on. So you have got an opportunity to paraphrase. Paraphrasing, you are using my information. You are saying what I said in your own words, but you are able to indicate that this information is coming from this person. That is very critical. And that gives you an opportunity to express yourself better, because now we hear your voice, although you are using somebody's or another person's information. Now, how do you write an essay to show understanding? When we want to see that you understand what you're writing about, how do we see that? How do we pick that up? How do you give me that perspective to say, this person, when I'm reading your work, this person understands what she was writing about? How do I pick that up? How do you put it there? In other words, remember when you are responding to a topic, ladies and gentlemen, you are given a particular topic to write an assignment on. When you are responding to that, you are bringing about, that's why I indicated to you, you can be 13 in a class and you're given the same topic, all of you. And when I read, I'll find that the information that has been given in those in that assignment is not the same. I've got 30 different opinions and ideas, but responding to the same topic. Unless if people are trying to copy each other's work. But if you're sincere to do your own work, it won't be the same. You might sometimes use the same materials that you're getting information from, but the way you put your information will not be the same. That is the argument. That's the argument. You have to create an argument. How do you create an argument in an essay, ladies and gentlemen? How do you create an argument? Already I've given you a baseline here in terms of what an argument is all about and what it does in your essay. So now what I want to find out from you, how do you create that argument when you are writing to respond to a particular topic of an essay or an assignment? How do you do that? Mlekeleli, before you disappear at first, can you come on board? What is your understanding of you are writing? Now you are bringing in your argument. How do you bring that argument?
Yeah, it's different strokes for different folks, as how they say it. So yeah, but I think one has to look at their introduction and stimulate their essay argument based on their introduction by asking questions and answering those questions. But you should be careful because asking vague questions on your essay will lead you to scoring low marks. So the question should be based on the introduction so that the body of an essay could flow in a proper manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saneliso, what's your take? How do you bring about an argument in an essay?
Okay, so I think first you have to research on a certain topic and find out the ideas from other people. And then from there, from the evidence that you have gathered, then you weigh the information and analyze what you have found. And then you choose a side, and then you support that side with facts. And yeah, I think it's
okay. Okay. Thanks for that. Asipe?
Fundis, thanks. Anyways, let me try, Sen. Actually, I think this is where you've been guided by introduction. So when you plan your introduction, you also put some sort of the bullets or the things that you're going to talk about. And I need to understand the topic. Let's say, for example, if we're talking about COVID-19. So obvious, in your introduction, you may have some sort of health, education, unemployment. So when you go inside, actually go to your body.
Just wait, Asipe.
Yes.
Saneliso, unmute yourself, please.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Can continue, Asipe.
Okay, thanks, sir. So remember, sir, when you start doing your essay, so when you analyze that particular question, let's say, as I've said, that COVID-19, you'll be maybe telling how did the COVID-19 affect the global world, I can say that maybe. So when you plan that, maybe you'll be able to plan according to what was happening in your country as well as in terms of other countries. Ne? So now expressing, I'll just try to break down all these bullet points if I'm not, I'm allowed actually, sir.
You are.
So now talking about that introduction you have broken down up there, it will be able to give you the guidance for your essay. Ne? So now bringing your own ideas. Maybe, for example, I can be typical using my example from my village or from my community where I come from. Ne? saying that the COVID-19 has affected us in terms of movement, or maybe to attend the classes whereby we'll have to use technology. So that one I can say you'll be using, maybe for example, saying that you'll be writing your own example, or you give example of whatever thing that occurs, meaning to say you'll be bringing your own ideas on whatever thing that has happened to your area or wherever where you are. So now, showing an understanding of what you're writing about, you always go back using the what, how, and why, and where. Those may be questions, then they can be able to guide you to be able to stick to your essay. So they can also guide you in terms of your argument or whatever thing that you'll be talking about, reflecting back to whatever thing that you have broken down on your introduction. I don't know if I'm still making sense.
You are.
I'm trying my best.
A lot.
Yeah.
You are. You are.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thanks,
I don't want
Osip.
to finish the time.
Thanks a lot for that input. Lebo, I saw your chart, and you mentioned something that I want you to explore a little bit, where you indicated that you need to explain your perspective. That's very interesting. I want to hear that. I think colleagues as well, they will be so interested to hear that. What do you mean by that, Lebo?
The way I explain it is when you are providing the audience with sufficient content, because people, we are different, and when we read something, our perspectives are not going to be the same thing. So you will introduce the problem, the argument, then you come up with your idea, how you understand it, then you engage it.
So that's the way to bring about the argument in the whole discussion that is coming to unfold.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot, as I indicated earlier, and some of you also emphasized on it, that you cannot just rely on the external information that you get from secondary sources. You need to bring about your own. What is your own argument? How do you try to bring the understanding in the whole thing? You know, I need to find out your standpoint in terms of the topic. That's the argument we're talking about. So instead of relying on the information from other sources, we need also to find out in your personal perspective, like Lebo is indicating, what is it that you think you are bringing on the table? You are giving to us. How do you interpret that? How do you see that? That's very critical in your own writing. So it must come out clearly. You argue it and then you put it there. That's why 30 of you will never write the same thing. You'll differ somehow. And that is where the difference will come out when you're arguing about this thing. Different essays have got different arguments. It won't be the same. That's a given thing. And then we have got different arguments for different essays. In other words, actually, when we talk about different essays, brings about different arguments. You cannot use the same argument that you used on a particular essay and you apply it to the next one. It won't be the same because even the topic will not be the same. That is the simplicity of it. So that's why we're talking about different essays for different arguments, and also different arguments for different essays. You have to use your own words. The original scholarly essays argued by your own words. When you are writing there, it must feel like you are talking to other people. You are debating with other people. And you bring in your own voice there. You bring in your own understanding. You try to make people understand your standpoint. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are doing that, when you are writing in your own words, do you think we need to concentrate on our own words, on our own writing, our own minds, and forget the other information, the secondary information, and we use what the only information that we have, that we think about, and forget about the other information from other sources? Do you think that will contribute much on your writing? Do you think that will help you positively in your writing if you use your own words only and forget about the other external information that you get from other sources, from books, from articles, from journals, and so on and so on? In other words, can we rely only in your own information? Yes, Ellen.
When it comes to essays, it's important to not put our opinions in the forefront, so that whatever we are saying, the arguments that we say, they always need evidence, so that the information that we've gathered can also contribute to that field of study. So maybe our opinions and our own words won't be that, how can I put it? They're not evidence-based most times.
So we need to make sure that we get some additional information from outside, from other sources. Do you think your information is sufficient? You don't need other external information from other sources when you're writing an essay? Can we rely on our own and desert the other information from other sources? Is our own information sufficient in writing the essay?
I think we do need to use some other sources for information in order to support what your own own knowledge states. And then, but most importantly, as some other speakers said, you need to cite so that your reader will know that this information is not yours, but you get it from that particular person, and then so that it validates. Because when we're using our own, there is no evidence, as what Ellen was saying, that this is, I got it from that book. But using some other sources of information, then you will cite, and then it will just make your essay concrete, and then you know that even if you want to go and do the checkings, at least you will find that paragraph from that particular source. That's my take.
So thanks for that.
So I was saying that I think it is very important to also use other people's opinions, and also using different kinds of sources, because it will give you a direction of your essay, where exactly you must go and where exactly you must write about, because your own words does not have a weight, but using other people's words, it also gives you a courage that, if this writer is saying this, you can also challenge the writer, argue with the statement, and show that you do understand and you want to make your essay to also have a point of view of your own, and also including the other person. That's what I think. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that input.
My take is that as academic writing is about research and finding out information and supporting your work that you are writing about. So it is also important to note down other people's work so that you can strengthen your argument when writing. It proves that you understand what you're writing about, and it is also an evidence that what you're talking about is already there, because other people have written about it. That's my take on that. Thank you.
In other words, Lebogang, you are saying you must bear in mind that whatever you're writing about, you might not be the very first person to write about that thing. Other people have written about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. It is very important, as you indicated, that you must know whenever you're starting to write. You cannot just lock yourself in a room and nothing in front of you. Is just you and your laptop. You start dealing with the topic, and then you submit that essay or that work without taking into consideration other people's work who might have written something similar to yours. You know, you have to strengthen it by making taking into account other people's work. You do quotations, you paraphrase, so on and so on. That strengthens your work. And when I read it, I can see that this person has gone all out, try to make sure that her work is up to scratch. She has even recognized other people's work. And that will give you credits, enough credits for that matter. When you are writing, there is this thing that we refer to as a formal and unbiased kind of academic writing. Remember, the academic writing aims to convey information in an impartial way. To whom are you conveying that information? Who are you conveying the information to, ladies and gentlemen? That has to be very unbiased and impartial. Who are you conveying the information when you are writing that academic writing, essay or an assignment? Ladies and gentlemen, you are conveying information to whom? And when we talk about this information should be very unbiased and impartial, what do we mean by that? What do we mean by the information that you're conveying to that the reader should be impartial and unbiased? And how, just to expand the question, and how do you make it a point that it is impartial? When we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, about issues around academic writing is formal and unbiased. In other words, you have already indicated in our previous discussion that when we talk about academic writing, we're talking about formal writing. So when we talk about being impartial in a way, this information that you are trying to communicate to your audience, your reader, it might be me as a lecturer, it might be maybe you are writing an article that you have to publish. It's going to be read by many people out there. I can't even see where is it coming from.
It's a serious challenge. Perhaps we can continue.
All right. So you must make sure that that information that you're compiling is you are targeting a particular audience, and you're writing in a way that it is in an impartial way, in an unbiased way. In other words, it must communicate your message the way you plan to communicate, and make sure it reaches. It makes sure that you achieve your objective about that information. Because remember, when we write, whatever writing that we do, we are writing for a purpose. We are not just writing for the sake of writing. You have got a target, you have got an aim with that information. That writing you're doing, that assignment you're doing, that essay you're doing, it must do something to the reader. For example, when we talk about the assignment, you're targeting to get marks from the lecturer. And you have got, in your mind, you've got a target to say, yeah, I wish I can get this much in terms of marks. And to get that much, it means you have done your homework, you have gone all out trying to get as much information, relevant information for that matter, as much as possible. Then that will enable you to get what you are trying to get. And the goal is to base arguments on the evidence under consideration. That's what you were saying earlier on. You make sure that there is your arguments is based on an evidence in the form of information that you have gathered to assist you in terms of writing that assignment. This is not only from the author's preconceptions. In other words, the authors, when you get a topic as an author, you have got something that you have in terms of understanding to say, this is what this topic is saying. It means I have to write my assignment based on this topic. This is the information that I'm having in my mind. So you are not relying on that only. You have to go out and get other evidence, as some of you indicated earlier on. And all claims should be supported with relevant evidence, not just asserted. And that is exactly what you were saying. We need to prove it. If, for example, you quote somebody in your essay, you have good information, and then you indicate where it is coming from, and then I must be able to go there and verify that information. Like some of you indicated that you can go and check in that particular page. That's why we also include pages there. And then when you are referencing underneath, you will be able to give me all the information, the name of the book, if it's a book, if it's an article, the name of the article, and everything else. So I'll be able to simply go there and verify that information that you are showing me, where you're indicating to me you got it from. And that will be a proof enough that this is an evidence that you got this information from this reliable source, and you can even be able to show me which is the source. To avoid bias, it is important to represent the work of other researchers and the results of your own research fairly and accurately. So it must come out clearly. You show that this is where I got this information, and then here is the author of this information. And then now, when we talk about the issue of outlining your methodology, what do you think is the need for us to even show the methodology, but especially when you are dealing with the issues of research, that you're going to follow, the method that you're going to follow in terms of gathering your information or your data and so on and so on. What do you think is important? Why must we have the methodology, ladies and gentlemen? Why must we have methodologies or a methodology when we are collecting data?
It helps with, you are transparent when you use when you show your methodology. It helps with transparency and yeah, that's one point.
Why must we have a methodology? What is it helping us with? Perhaps let me just rephrase my question. What is a methodology? How can you explain methodology?
Yes, my intake is that we must have a methodology to indicate the focal points of our work or our research. Thank you.
Can I hijack you while you are there? What is your understanding of methodology? Perhaps let's start by understanding that before we'll get to the second point that you have explained now. What's your understanding of methodology? What's methodology? Just I don't need need a formal definition, just your understanding.
Okay, it's the method or the how part of how are we going to do things, the methods itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? What is methodology, ladies and gentlemen? How can you explain methodology? Perhaps that will lead us to understand what Sylvia was explaining in terms of how is methodology assisting us when we are writing our document. Lebo, what's your understanding of methodology? What is methodology, ladies and gentlemen?
I think when you are talking about methodology, you are talking about the way or the criteria that we are going to use, maybe when you gather some information. That's my understanding of a methodology, yes.
So what you're explaining, how does it assist the methodology, and how does it assist in terms of gathering information?
I think what I can put it, let me say, like it is going to assist us to give a guidance or the channels that are going to be followed. So now you can able to stick to the point that you want to achieve.
I think, yeah, I can agree with each. My methodology, I think, is the method that you will be using when you're writing your essays, and then definitely it will have rules and procedures on how you're gonna put gather all your information and put it in words and in writing. Yeah. Yeah, that's my take.
And you're just undermining your opinion.
Is it?
Yeah, you're just undermining. I'm dragging my feet to pass because I don't want us to pass not understanding. This is critical. Methodology is one of the critical concepts that is used when you are doing the academic writing. Because I don't anticipate you to end up at the I would say undergrad level. I expect you guys to proceed to the higher levels of doing research. So we need to understand these concepts very well. It's one of the skills and the technique that we need when you get to that level of doing research, gathering information and so on. So that's why I'm dragging my feet, and I want you to hear what do you think about this thing. And once you are tapped, now I get an understanding where you are in terms of the level of understanding. And once we understand, all of us, then I'm happy, because you'll be able to continue that way. Lebo.
I think it's a specific tool and procedures that you can use to gather information.
So let me try this method or methodology word. Ne? I think methodology is actually. I think I don't have network. Yes, sir.
Who is Mfundisi you're talking about?
You, sir. Yeah, Mfundisi. Sorry, sir. I'm used to this.
I used
to use this.
I receive.
Sorry, sir.
No.
So actually, I was trying to say, you're still there, sir.
Yes. Continue.
So I think I have a problem with this using mic problem. So I'm big shaking. Ne? But let me try my best. I think methodology or method is the approach or process that you use to conduct the research or to solve the problem, or maybe to reach actually the desired outcome of that particular thing. That is what I was trying to write now on the chat box. Anyways, you're not alone, sir. I'm also a guy, actually. Yes.
Or you're with somebody there?
Sorry, sir.
Are you saying you've got somebody you're sharing the
No.
platform there?
Reflecting to what you have said, you said you thought you are the only guy. I'm also the guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now I've got a clue in terms of the average understanding of this concept, because it is very critical. I'll have failed if we complete our discussion and I didn't gauge the understanding of this concept. This one is central to all the research data gathering and so on and so on. It's very central. So we need to understand it. And all of you, in your own ways of explaining, trying to explain what it is, and also touching in the issue of how does it contribute in your own writing, academic writing. How do you go about it? Because this is one of the procedures. Methodology is one of the procedures, or a technique. Yeah, let me use a technique that we use to gather information, analyze information, and so on about a particular topic that we want to write about. So it's very important to understand it. And it is central in the whole issue, as I indicated. You cannot do without it. You need to have it to assist you as somebody was indicating, it's a process. You know, a process has got some subheadings or issues that you have to follow to lead you to somewhere. So it's very important. Lebo, you can put down your hand. So now the formal style used in academic writing ensures that the research is presented consistently across different texts, so that studies can be objectively assessed and compared with other research. In other words, you're finding, sorry, when you do your academic writing and you follow all these processes that we're discussing here, you know, to assist you to come up with that end product, which is your essay or your assignment. It will assist us also when we are able also to, if the same topic, for example, when we are talking about a particular topic, and somebody also did the same topic somewhere and came up with the essay or whatever document at the end of it, we are able to compare the two documents because they share the same topic, but they're written by different people, and see where are the shortcomings, where are the weaknesses and the strengths, and so on and so on. So we're able to see where these things are going. When we say whatever we're writing should be clear and precise, what is your understanding of that? Your assignment should be clear and precise. Your essay must be clear and precise. What do you mean by that? What is your understanding of if we say it's clear and precise?
I think it means that when you are writing, you must use a language or the terms that are going to be understandable by everybody. We must not use the jargons whereby maybe the reader will not be able to understand what you are trying to say. And it must stick to the point.
Yeah, precise to my understanding is that using the simple language, not using the word that will end up having some more interpretation on it. Using simple language, I think is the best. Thank you.
Sam, now I can say that. sorry, sir.
No, don't be sorry.
For an essay to be clear and precise, I can say to convey information in a direct and straightforward manner, maybe to avoid unnecessary words by using the concise language, if I can say that way, to make the point effectively, sir. I don't know.
Before
Maybe, that is what I think, sir.
Before you leave, what is the point of me writing something using a language that will not be understood by the person that I'm writing to? Will I achieve anything? I'm just.
Maybe if you can repeat your question, sir.
I'm saying, what will I gain? What will I achieve if I write something to the people, in a language or in a way that is not understandable? Am I going to achieve anything?
No, sir. No, that I don't think you can.
You know.
Remember, sir, whatever that you are writing, it also you are not talking to yourself. You are sending something to the audience or to that particular person who's going to read that. It's more like you are the one who it talks about yourself as a person. So it must be clear to that person who's going to read that particular thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Avoid hedging your claims with words like perhaps, as this can give the impression that you lack confidence in your arguments. Do you agree with this statement? Whenever you use perhaps, you know, we usually hear people when we're talking with them. Somebody will tell you, we ask a person a question. Do you know where TUT is located? Maybe somebody says, maybe it's that side. When you hear a person says, maybe it's that side, do you have a confidence of going where this person is pointing? Can you go that side where the person is pointing? Where is UNISA? The campus, UNISA campus, I think it's that side. Can you walk there? Can you drive there with confidence where this person is showing you? Can you?
So I think that maybe can be accompanied by something that maybe cannot be just maybe alone. No ways.
Because when somebody says maybe, what comes to my mind is that critically comes to my mind is that this person is not sure. It can be correct, it cannot be correct. I might get there and find that this is the wrong direction altogether. It is. I can go there and find that indeed UNISA is located at that place where this person was showing me. But it's a matter of how did this person use the words. So in a formal writing, once you use perhaps, what comes to the mind of the reader, it will give the impression that you lack confidence in whatever you're arguing about. You are not sure, you are not confident. You know, when you argue for a particular point, you must be confident to convince me, the reader, that indeed this person is saying this with confidence. It means this might be correct or this is correct. But once you say perhaps, it might give me a wrong impression altogether. And I will start now analyzing you to say this person perhaps is not sure of what she's saying here. And how can I trust this person? And it is because of the use of those kind of words. I just pick up this one word here, perhaps, to represent others. You will understand them as you start writing, when you're reading, and so on and so on. And you know these words, we use them every now and then when we are talking. So you will be able to pick them when you are writing. You start now this thing to kick in to say, "Hi, man, this word that I'm using, it doesn't represent me well. It shows something else. Reflect your word choice to ensure its accuracy and directly conveys your meaning. You know, I'm giving a particular example here. This could perhaps suggest that instead of using perhaps alone, like you were indicating here, to say we must look at the context in which this perhaps is used, and then it will give us the whole understanding. So the reader might look it that way, or sometimes take it literally to say this person is not sure of what she's arguing about here in this assignment, and then how can I give this person this much marks if she's not sure of what she's talking about here. Another thing that I want to check your understanding. In an essay, when you talk about being focused and well structured, how do we see, or when we talk about academic essay writing, if it is well structured and focused, what do we mean by that? How does it look like? When we say it must be structured, what do we expect to see that this is structured? What elements do we see there in a well-structured essay? Let's start with this one. Sylvia, when you write your essay, you write your assignment, and then you are happy, you say, I'm done, and it's well structured. What elements are there in that essay?
Yeah, to me,
I'm coming to you, Nani. Let's start with Sylvia.
To me, it should show the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. It's well structured. It doesn't mix up everything. It should show the introduction, and when we come logically, it should show also when we come to body, and also the conclusion. That's how it should be structured. Like, thank you.
Okay, Nani.
Yes, I cannot agree more with Sylvia. Yes, it should have the introduction, whereby you will be talking, you will put your points there that in my content, actually, I'll be discussing this, and then your content. It needs to talk to your introduction, and then you must have a point form, even if it's separate paragraphs, not write a one big content that will just make whoever is going to read it to feel like, hey, do I need to read it or not? Because it's a one big paragraph. But if you divide your paragraph in a way, and then you put all your point system there, your information there, and then you write it with in a clear and easy understandable language, and then you go to your conclusion as well, and then you put your citing as well, that all your references are there, so that it gives you a good structure before the lecturer or whoever is going to read it, like he's just been kept by the look of the essay, and then it makes him to go and read, because it's neat, it's there, it's structured in a good manner. So yeah, that's what I can just say. Thank you.
Look, a house has got a structure. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen, to start with a roof when you're building a house? Yes or no? Is it possible to start with a roof?
No.
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 That would be a miracle, né?
Yes, it will be.
You know, so for us now, when we drive around, walk around, we see a house complete. That house is started somewhere, and then came the second phase, came the third phase until the end. That's the structure of the house. So even the essay writing, as the colleagues here were indicating, has got a structure that has to follow. And that structure, you cannot jumble it up. It has to be systematical. You start from somewhere up to. So we'll look at that as we continue discussing. But for now, I just wanted us to have a focus to understand, to check if you understand what the structure is in an essay. Now, when we talk about focus on the same breath, what is focus when you are writing? When we say you have to focus, what do you understand by that? What must happen? What do you do there when you have to focus? What do you mean by that? That you have to stay focused there. What are you doing and what are you avoiding? Because focusing, it means you have to make sure you brush off other things and concentrate in something else.
I think that means that if you are, let's say, if you are writing your essay, you need to make it a point where your essay, it flows in a format that you do not lose a direction, because once you write about, let's say you are using something like, I can say maybe you're writing animals, and then you, on the following paragraph, you change your statement and you use another object. So that loses a focus on your essay. You do not have a direction of how your essay should be flowing, and you also, the writer, the reader will also lose
interest on what exactly is going on because it does not have a direction. Yes.
Thank you for that, Kokes. Sylvia, then Ishmael.
Yeah, I will be adding to the first speaker.
Okay.
Focus, it means that when I write my essay, I must be straight to the point, the focal point, the points that I indicated in the introduction, following it logically so that the reader will flow with my assignment, not necessarily touching there and here, end up mixing some points. That's how I understand about focus. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Ishmael.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, sir. Yes, I agree with my colleagues here, because what I was going to say is to stick to the fact or to stick to the point. If, for example, in your paragraph number 1, you are talking about pollution, stick to that. Talk about pollution. Don't mix with another something that will make confusion to other people, to the reader. So you must make sure that your paragraph are logical. I was just going to say that. Thank you.
Thanks for that. So when we talk about being focused and have a well-structured essay, it is exactly what the colleagues explained. You know, imagine if you are not focused. You're writing, when you get to the middle of your writing, now you start writing about something else, you forget what you started with. What does it do in the reader's mind when this person is reading your essay? It completely confuses the reader. It doesn't make any sense. So you need to make sure that you stay focused and you follow your logic. So in terms of the structure that you are following to do that. And you also make sure that from start to finish, you do justice to each and every step or each and every phase within the structure that you have established. Because you come up with your own structure, or you're given a structure, more especially as a student, they've just given you the structure of a particular essay to say, when you are writing this essay, this is the structure that you have to follow. This is the format that you have to follow. We want to see these things appearing on your argument. Then you have to make sure that that is followed up to the end. And then start with a relevant research question or thesis statement. One of you on the chart indicated this thing. I think it was Ellen, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct, Ellen? Was it you who spoke about this thesis and
Yes, it is.
Was it you?
Yes, sir.
This is the time that I want you to explain what you meant by that.
Okay.
I didn't comment that. I didn't comment then because I knew we are going to get to that point.
All right. Okay, so I'll give an example. Let's say the topic is maybe sleep, how sleep improves your health overall. So my thesis statement could be the importance of enough sleep improves your mental being, as well as prevents, just thinking random things, prevents short memory, loss. So your thesis statement really, it highlights the main points in your topic and picks those out, and then it's almost like gives a volume to it, and then it gives a focal point. And then after that, you can have your bullet points supporting that thesis statement.
So basically, you need to make sure that you have those in place to assist you to be relevant to what you are discussing. And that will assist you in terms of developing your argument as well, where you should come out clearly and convince me as a reader that what you are writing, you understood it, and you got this other information from secondary sources to support what you are now arguing about. And when you bring that to me as a reader, now I start to understand that this person did went all out to collect information, went all out to understand the topic and analyze it critically, and now is able to defend it, in other words, to put your argument forward. And only include information that is relevant to your overall purpose. You can't just take generic information which is not going to assist. Look at something which is more relevant. A coherent structure is crucial to organize your ideas. Your ideas will flow, will be able to flow, and pay attention to structure at the three levels: the structure of the whole text, the paragraph structure, the sentence structure. Somebody was indicating here that you need to make sure that your argument or your writing has got paragraphs instead of writing the whole page. Without, I can't even be able. It also make me feel like, I can't read this thing. I'm discouraged. But if there are paragraphs, it's easier to follow your argument, and so on and so on. Even the sentence structure, how you structure your sentence, the content itself, the whole thing, how you structure the whole essay, it becomes so critical, and it's a building block up to the end. So we'll end up here as we have run out of time, ladies and gentlemen. You might have seen on our schedule that tomorrow we're meeting again at 5:30. We arranged for 5:30 because we know some of you are working. So the only time that at least you are all at home is from 5:30. So we will be meeting at 5:30, and the topic that we are looking tomorrow is the topic, choosing the topic. What is choosing an essay topic. If you're doing research, you are at liberty to choose your own topic. How do we go about that? And so on and so on. So we are going to look at that. And before we do that, we'll finish up there's a little, some few things that I wanted us to look at. So we'll look at that to conclude with our discussion for today. Then we start discussing tomorrow's topic. So let's meet tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming to class. Your participation is highly appreciated. It makes the class so interesting, you know, and that was nice. I enjoyed you. Thank you so much. Keep it up like that. So in the meantime, tomorrow we are going to look at that topic and then take it from there. Doc, have you got closing remarks before I release them?
I wanted to say perhaps if you can just share this presentation so that we can share it with students. You can share it with me. I will post it. I will post it in the chat.
Definitely, I will do that.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Please don't be late.
Doc, can you remain for a minute?
Yes, I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful evening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.